and feeling great. A very warm welcome to all our viewers to a new episode of Light of Knowledge. We have been on this amazing journey of knowing ourselves, and we are really privileged to have Dr. Satish Gupta. Om Shanti, Doctor. Welcome. Doctor has been telling us a lot about how we can actually cope with our stress, and it all comes back to the outer self-consciousness, which leads to the vices, which leads to negative mental tendencies. This in turn leads to a lot of stress, and that is why we have all the lifestyle problems today of wrong diet, wrong exercise, wrong sleep, and addictions as well. So Dr. Saab, we'll go ahead with this, and we can, so you were telling us about all these,
what this stress, the wrong food, fast and junk food which our youth is taking.
Yes.
And they're going to bed late and getting up late. Thereby not able to exercise properly.
Right.
Or they don't exercise or do the wrong exercise.
Yes.
And then because of that stress, as you already said, addictions. They are falling prey to addictions. To relieve that stress, transiently for a brief period.
Yes.
Through smoking, through alcohol, through drugs, through a lot of caffeine.
Right.
And then even the mobile, the internet, Facebook, WhatsApp.
Yeah, very subtle
they are also
addictions.
Yes. It's a big addiction today. Television,
Right.
So they are also addictions, right? So we become, victims of this.
Right.
So, and that leads to dis-ease of mind.
Because
all these things, wrong food basically leads to now lots of studies that the wrong mood or stress leads to increased frequency of mind.
Yes.
But even the foods, we call it tamasic food, they lead to increased frequency of brain.
Right. So doctor, if we had to understand in scientific way, what is tamasic food? Because in Ayurveda we have known of this.
Yes. See, what is happening is that they have the foods, they're called sattvic food, rasic food and tamasic food.
Right.
Sattvic food is that soul, we'll come to this topic later on also.
Yes.
Soul has some innate energies, inner self. The 7 innate energies.
Right.
And from those 7 innate energies, they're like, one of them is peace, one is love.
Yes.
True love.
What we naturally crave for.
Yeah. Happiness, bliss. Right. So these are true energies. Right? There's 7 actually like this. So there are certain foods which increase these 7 energies.
Okay.
The sattvic word has come from 7.
Sattvic. Exactly.
Has come from 7. The food which increases these 7 energies, 7 innate energies of the inner self or the soul, or the spirit, that is, or consciousness, that is sattvic food.
Okay. Right.
Rasic food is one which leads to laziness and carelessness.
Okay. Like Rajasic.
Rajasic, you take rest.
You take rest.
You don't bother. No need to get up, just get everything in the bed.
Right. So fried foods.
Yeah.
Junk food.
The sattvic foods are fruits, vegetables, salads, sprouts, right? These chapatis.
Right.
The pulses.
Right, which are very good and high
cow's
energy.
Milk especially.
Yes.
They are very good, right? Rasic food is like all fried foods. All fried foods, those called fast foods.
Fast foods, hot dogs, burgers, pizzas.
Pizzas. And then tamasic food is one which increases anger, anxiety.
Okay. The dark emotion, the vices.
They stimulate the sympathetic system.
Okay.
We go to systems. One is sympathetic system,
and one is
which is stress, which is like alarm system with the danger.
Okay.
And one is a parasympathetic system, relaxation system.
Okay.
Sattvic food stimulates the parasympathetic system, relaxation response.
Okay.
And tamasic food stimulates the
sympathetic
fight and flight response, right?
Okay.
Okay, you're ready for fight. That's it. You come in a commando mode.
That's why we call it the age of rage. We are always angry.
So all these foods, like all non-veg foods, all those called these pickles, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the onion, garlic, all these types of, and the foods which are sort of kept for a long time in the fridge or, they also become tamasic, right? As you go along.
Right.
And certain other foods also.
So
more pickles, more chilies.
Right.
They also stimulate the sympathetic system.
The sympathetic system. So talking about food, Dr. Saab, we also see that a lot of people, we do have this...
and also the person who is cooking the food, that's important.
The person who is cooking
the food, right?
Okay.
Because if I suppose person is an angry person, is a depressed person, right?
Okay.
So he is with that intention, he is making that food, with that aura inside around him, he's making that aura is also going, those vibrations are going into that food.
The frequency, like you had
that
said,
frequency, that is also going to the food.
Right.
So person should cook the food with pure consciousness, with peace, love and happiness. That is sattvic food, right? So I always say pure sattvic food, right? The food cooked in pure emotions,
with
love. Peace, love and happiness, like a mother cooks for you, is different than a wife cooks for you.
Absolutely. Right? You always realize when you are eating outside.
Eating in the hotel, right? So something which is cooked by your mother and wife, or you are, in the house, is something different from what is being cooked. That's a business, right?
So doctor, we also see that nowadays the youth are constantly rushing to their work, they have to go somewhere, and food happens on the go. You eat on the go. So does that also affect?
That also affects. That's with what consciousness we're eating the food.
Okay.
Person who is cooking the food, then what type of food, and then with what consciousness we are taking the food, right?
Right.
I'm in rush. I'm not chewing the food. I'm just gulping the food.
Right.
Actually, they say that the water should be, you should not be eating. You should be eating the water, right? Take sips of water, right?
Take
sip by sip.
Yes. Okay. But we gulp water like in huge.
It should not happen like that.
Okay.
That causes problems with the GERD. We call it GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Okay. Very common disease today in the world.
Right.
Almost 30-40% people are suffering from this because of this pressure of time and pressure of work. Right. You are not actually enjoying. And food should be chewed in such a manner so that you need not gulp it. You need not.
Yes, because I had heard somewhere that you should also chew your food properly.
Yeah,
even slowly, if it's sattvic.
Slowly food. So what is important is not what to take, how to take, and when to take. Three things with the food.
Right.
How to take,
when to take,
and what to take.
Okay.
So people today in the world, they know only what to take.
What to take, when and how.
When and how they do not know, right?
No, yes.
So because that has to be there. There is a time, there is a biological clock here in the hypothalamus, right? Okay. And that tells you that what time you should go to bed, what time you should get up, what is the time for meditation, time for walk, time for having breakfast, time for working, time for planning. There's a time, everything is here.
But where's the time, doctor? Nowadays
but you have to plan. If you go follow your biological clock, everything is efficient. Like suppose you want to plan.
Right.
The best time, early morning, right?
Early
after meditation.
Morning. Okay.
What you cannot plan in next 12 hours, you can do it within 30 minutes.
Doctor, you just said early morning and meditation. So does it mean starting your day with meditation?
Yeah. So we'll be coming to that.
Okay.
But I'm just telling you this biological clock, right? What you will remain confused during the whole day. You will not be able to take a decision, and that decision comes immediately. When you do after meditation, it comes within minutes. Right?
Yes.
And it's the right decision.
It's the right decision.
So planning, it's time for planning, time for reading, time. Suppose you want to learn something, that time is there. Then you can learn what you can learn in 4 hours.
Yes.
During the day, you can learn in 1 hour.
1 hour.
Same thing, time for working. You work at that time, you will be more efficient.
Because there's this biological clock that is.
The time for lunch, time for dinner, and time to sleep. So if you follow the clock, then with less energy spent, you get more efficiency, more work.
That is so true, doctor.
But today the children youth is not following the clock.
No, in fact, that even if we go 10 years back, this was it was so natural and such a normal part of our lifestyle to sleep on time, to get up on time. We were not used to eating so much outside. And all these things today we seem to be working harder and there's more efforts and the results
is very, very poor.
Very poor. You know, the kind of food that we are consuming nowadays, we can actually replace it with sattvic food, and that can really help us to cope with it affects our thoughts and our moods.
Yes.
And we were also discussing about the wrong exercise patterns that we have. So how can we, how do we counter that?
I think the wrong exercise basically means we are exercising the wrong time, right? Because there's time for exercise here. If you do that exercise at that point of time, because the exercise normally what people are doing is they're going to gyms in the evening. Because they're getting up late.
Yes.
Going to work, so the fast, mode, and then
you get
exercise.
only time
when
in
you're
the
tired
evening.
in the evening after the work, then you go to gym and do wrong exercise in the absence of oxygen.
Yes.
Right? So that is where it is harming your body. It's not helping your body. So it's a wrong exercise.
Okay.
Or they don't have time for exercise. They don't do exercise. Right? So it's again the same thing. What exercise should be done?
Right.
When to be done? How to be done? Right?
Exactly.
That's very, very important. This goes like this. In the world today, we just think about what exercise should be done.
And again,
don't forget the time.
The when
don't
and
forget
how.
the
yes.
The
when and
how it should be, with what mindset it should be done.
It should be done.
Right. Same way with sleep also. Before going to sleep, we don't audit. Today, because again, time pressure, work pressure, anxiety, fear, right? Time pressure, type A behavior. All these things are coming up. Competition, comparison. So because of that, we are not able to plan. Night shifts, deadlines.
The deadlines and everything. It
so
constantly is like a cloud over you, and you are supposed to. There are deadlines to meet, and you are trying to meet up with the other expectations also.
Exactly, family expectations.
Yes.
So what is happening? This all pressures, they increase your brain frequency, and this leads to mental disease. Thought frequency increases, and thought frequency in turn leads to stress.
Yes.
Right, and there's mental disease, right?
Yes.
In the form of anxiety is itself a disease. Fear is itself a disease.
Disease.
And then you develop expectations are more, right? More expectations, more desires, ultimately lead to depression.
Right.
And then depression, the phobias, the delusions, hallucinations,
they all
schizophrenia, and then physical disease in the form of hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, acidity, abdominal, the constipation, or irritable bowel syndrome, or ulcerative colitis, or asthma, or headache, migraine, everything, backache, neck problems.
So doctor, from medical point of view, you suggest that there's a right time for exercising, and that is usually in the mornings. But sometimes, doctor,
morning after with sunrise.
With sunrise. But what if the youth, what if the timings are such that they cannot manage it in the morning? In that case, is there any other alternative for, like in the...
See, the sun rises at a proper time. They cannot be, we cannot change our timings.
The biological
clock, right? We have to follow, sun will not rise as per our pressures.
Thankfully.
Right? Isn't it?
Yes.
So, see, if I get up at 8, sun will rise at 8. That is not there, right?
That is not there.
That is fixed. So we have to follow certain rules and regulations.
Right.
If I want to be healthy and happy, I have to follow.
Right.
Because all these, as I said in the beginning, be mari, the Hindi word is be mari. Be means fear, mari means constancy.
Yes.
This is loss of ease, right?
Loss of ease.
Right. So this is incurable. It is in plus curable. It is curable if we go in.
Exactly.
So the treatment of all these diseases of mind and body.
Right.
The human being, we started with human being.
Yes.
Right? So human if you think of the soil, you have all the problems of mind and body. On the other hand, if you think about being conscious or soul conscious, that is our inner self.
Okay.
And soul consciousness makes you stable.
Okay.
Because soul is eternal.
Soul is
the truth.
Right.
Inner self is truth. It doesn't change. It is eternal.
It is eternal. Right? So you mean, Dr. Saab, that we are a combination of the physical and the non-physical.
Non-physical.
But when we start relating too much to the physical, that is when all the
physical
problems
is
start.
seen, non-physical is not seen.
Is not seen.
This physical is seen, metaphysical is not visible.
Yes.
But we are metaphysical beings.
And the image of a tree comes to my mind, where you can see the trunk, you can see the the branches, you can see the leaves, the flowers,
the fruits.
But where does all the nourishment come from? You don't see the roots always. It's under the ground, right?
Yes, that is that's the soul is the seed of the body.
And we nowadays are trying to solve everything. We are trying to water every leaf.
Every leaf.
But we are not actually.
We are not actually watering the roots.
Yes.
The problem is there, and that's how the tree is dying.
Yes.
It's not flourishing, right?
It's not flourishing.
Yeah.
So, doctor, then we were talking about you told us how we can counter the diet that we have nowadays. You told us how we can counter exercise in the healthy way by knowing also when and how to do it, rather than just knowing that I have to exercise.
We cannot. Knowing is not doing, right? That only we knew now. We know that we have this. But just knowing you cannot do it.
Enough.
You have brain is like a child. Mind is like a child, not brain. Mind is like a child. If you just tell the child do this, it will do at that point of time. But later on it will not follow. But if you convince the child, this is why you should do it. Then child will follow it, right?
Yes.
Same way with mind. If you convince the mind, your mind, yes, this is the way I should.
So, which means making your mind your best friend.
Best friend.
Contrast to what we keep hearing, that your mind is your enemy.
Don't control the mind.
Yes.
Make your mind your best friend.
Your best friend.
By education.
Yes.
By information, education and counseling.
Exactly.
Right? So, this is what we are doing in this. So, basically this is what actually has been told by God. What I am talking to you. What I have learned in meditation, Rajyoga Meditation,
is a direct
with Brahma Kumaris, right? This is what I'm discussing with you, right? And with my scientific knowledge background.
Yes.
So I'm mixing science and spirituality together.
Right? So it becomes practical spirituality.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, then once you are inner self-conscious or soul-conscious, then you are stable.
Yes. And then the sleep
full
problems
of security.
can.
You feel full of security.
Yes.
And as I told you, when you are outer self-conscious, you are unstable and insecure.
And like you had said in one of the episodes, doctor, that when you are outer self-conscious, you are either feeling inferior to someone or you are feeling superior to somebody.
Yes.
So that's like, again, you are unstable.
Yeah. So when you are outer self-conscious, like when you go near a furnace, you automatically feel the heat.
Yes.
And when you go near a water lake,
you feel calm and peaceful.
Cool air.
Yes.
Same thing, when you become outer self-conscious, body conscious, role conscious, material conscious, you feel the heat of vices and negative tendencies.
Yes.
And when you become soul conscious, inner self-conscious, then you feel the innate energies of the soul.
Right.
And what are those innate energies? 7 innate energies of the soul.
Which you said, yes. Love, happiness, peace.
The first thing is the knowledge of the truth.
Okay, truth.
Knowledge of the truth, which is coming out, which is like from that point of energy. Soul is a point of energy, right? It's not something physical.
It's metaphysical.
It's a point of energy, conscient point of energy. And from that point of energy, these 7 energies are emerging all the time. And they're nourishing the 100 billion neurons in the brain.
Right.
All the 5 senses, eyes, nose, mouth, ears and the skin.
Okay.
Outer skin and the inner skin.
Yes.
Which is sort of also in the respiratory tract, on the GI tract, the urinary tract. Right?
Right.
And also all the vessels are lined, arteries and veins are lined by that,
right.
inner skin. We call it endothelium.
Exactly, yes.
And the 80,000 billion cells of the body. Soul is nourishing each and every aspect of every cell of the body with these 7 energies. And that is how the body is functioning.
Right. And that's the inner orchestra, like
inner orchestra.
Harmony.
So these 7 energies, first is the knowledge of the truth. Right? As you open a computer, you get the make, you get the, how many RAMs are inside it.
The manual.
What are the descriptions.
Yes.
Same thing, from the soul, from the inner self or soul, the first energy which is arising is knowledge of the truth. Right?
Truth.
Like, you must have heard about ultrasound.
Yes.
Ultrasound. We do ultrasound of the abdomen. You can measure the size of various organs, a gallstone inside the gallbladder, or a kidney stone. You can measure different things, right, in the body. And similarly, you can do the heart also.
Yes.
You can measure the valve size, if there's a leakage, right, everything. You can measure the walls, size of the walls.
Right.
Everything can be measured, right? And like say, when you go to the sea and you want to measure the depth of the sea, then you send, these submarines and ships. They have a sonar, ultrasound, and that goes and touches that sound
bed.
Goes down to the bed, sea bed, and then comes back. So you know where are you?
Where are you exactly?
How far is your sea bed? Right?
Yes.
And how far is suppose there's a rock. How far you are from the rock? So then you can change the direction.
The direction,
same thing.
the navigation.
So same thing. Here also is sound like thing, which is like ultrasound, right? Coming from here, I'm here. I'm a soul.
Yeah.
That sound is going to each and every cell of the body.
Okay.
That is why it is in our literature, scriptures. It is said unlimited sound.
Okay.
The word is anadnad. In Hindi, the word is anadnad.
Anadnad.
They also call it shabd.
Yes.
Yeah?
Right.
In Hindi, they say that.
Right.
So this sound is going from here to each and every cell of the body.
It's that vibration you mean which goes.
That is going to it. I'm here.
The electromagnetic waves.
No, it's not electromagnetic. No. It's something spiritual vibrations. Right?
Okay. But
that I am a soul. I'm a being. I'm eternal.
Right.
So this message is going to and which is making every cell of the body function.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And when this sound is going, every cell is functioning. As the soul leaves, this sound stops going and everything comes to a stop.
Yes, it's like how we know that there's mind and matter. It's a combination. So it's the energy, and you said, the matter. So the moment the energy is in the matter, the matter is functioning.
Alive.
Right.
And when it is not there, it is dead.
It is dead.
So that from the inner self, this energy is flowing.
Okay.
That I am eternal. I am a soul. I am eternal soul.
Yeah.
And that energy is making it function. And then second thing is, this is first thing, energy. Second is, I am a soul, son of supreme soul.
Okay.
Right? Son of God.
Right.
Like when we introduce to each anyone, I am so and so. I am a doctor. My father is a professor in the hospital. Right.
Right.
My uncle is a commissioner. Right.
Right.
So then I'm then this person who is listening,
right,
he gets impressed. Right.
Exactly.
So same thing. Soul is telling the truth to the body cells. I am a soul. I am eternal, and my father is eternal.
Too.
Supreme soul, Supreme. And he is the Almighty.
Exactly. Yes.
He is a powerhouse of all the 7 energies.
That I need.
Body needs all the 7 energies. Right. Don't worry. I am connected to the Supreme, who is the powerhouse.
That's very interesting, Doctor. Again today, we are running out of time now, but it was really interesting. We are, we are now coming to our inner self, which is more deep, which is the healing power inside me. Thank you so much, Doctor. Om Shanti. So today we moved from the outer self-consciousness to the inner self-consciousness. And we realized that if the outer self-consciousness can lead to vices which cause negative mental tendencies and stress, there is also a soothing feeling of knowing there is an inner self, there is the sound within me that heals me. I am eternal. I am a soul. On that note, we end today's episode. If you wish to talk to us or write to us, please feel free to do so. Om Shanti.